They tried to silence him. They erased his name. But he rebuilt from nothing. He fought every algorithm. They tried again and failed. Now he's back, stronger. From blackout to spotlight, he's at the White House, at the top of his game. Franchi lives.
You are about to enter another dimension, the dimension of truth, unfiltered and uncensored. Welcome to the Raw Feed with Gary Franchi.
Tonight on the Raw Feed, shutdown falls, America strikes, corruption exposed, agenda advances, future fights. The Raw Feed starts now.
Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live from the heart of America. Unfiltered truth to millions on YouTube. Hit those donation links below. Every contribution powers our gear. Every contribution keeps the party going. Help me help you. Hit those donation links. YouTube channel memberships. Special acknowledgement in the fellowship. Your super chats keep me standing. Your Rumble rants fuel every round.
Say hello to super chats.
Spread the intel. Every repost extends our reach.
Super chats fuel this spectacle. Your Rumble rants give me strength.
24/7 members-only community, behind-the-scenes discussions.
Connect with fellow patriots.
My mama always said, life is like sharing the truth. Text this stream to your friends.
What if I told you the app is real? Download the Next News Network app. Android users, take the Google Play path. iPhone users, App Store awaits.
The system is cracking, and the cracks are getting wider by the hour. Good evening. I'm Gary Franchi. This is the Raw Feed, where we bring you unfiltered truth the mainstream media won't touch. Tonight, we're witnessing something unprecedented, the complete unraveling of the Democrat machine as their own soldiers turn against them Their corruption gets exposed in real time, and their globalist puppet masters scramble to implement digital tyranny before it all collapses. But first, let me take you back to this day in history. November 13th, 1982, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial was dedicated in Washington, D.C., honoring those who served and died in America's most divisive conflict, a war that split the nation, destroyed trust in government, and exposed the lies of the political establishment. Sound familiar? Because 43 years later, we're watching another civil war, not with bullets, but with truth bombs. And just like Vietnam veterans were abandoned by their government, today's Democrats just spent 43 days abandoning federal workers, military families, and the American people in their failed shutdown scheme. Which brings us to tonight's explosive revelation. John Fetterman, the hoodie-wearing Pennsylvania Democrat, just committed political suicide by telling the truth. He admitted his own party is crueler than Republicans, that they literally cheered for him to die after his stroke. He's calling out Bernie Sanders for voting against food aid and military pay. This is not a policy disagreement. This is a Democrat civil war breaking out in real time. And Senator Fetterman, I know you're watching. The door's open. When you're ready to leave the party, the one that wanted you dead, will save you a seat at the table of sanity. But Fetterman's betrayal is just the tip of the spear. While Democrats spent 43 days holding America hostage for illegal alien health care, Trump's enforcement army went to work. Operation Dirtbag, yes, that's the actual name, just swept up 150 illegal alien sexual predators in Florida alone. 230 criminals deported in 10 days. Federal agents assaulted by Democrat politicians facing now 18 years in prison. The border secured by Navy warships. This is what happens when adults take charge. And the corruption? You're not going to believe this. Chicago schools blow $7.7 million on Egyptian safaris. This while kids can't read. Newsom's chief of staff indicted for using campaign funds on $15,000 handbags and $170,000 birthday parties. Democrat staffers literally impersonating attorneys to spring convicted criminals from custody. This is not incompetence. It's organized crime with a political party attached. Meanwhile, the UN and the World Economic Forum are implementing their endgame. Digital IDs in Australia. Mandatory online surveillance. Programmable money in Canada. The UN chief demanding global censorship of conspiracy theories, which means any truth that threatens their power. Agenda 2030 isn't coming, it's here, and they're not even hiding it anymore. They want to stay. They want to stay in control, and they want to control what you say, right? They want to control what you buy, where you go, how you live. This is the system Agenda 21 promised, now delivered as Agenda 2030's digital prison. And in the ultimate display of global incompetence, every major power is desperately trying to beat Elon Musk in the robot arms race. Russia's robot collapsing on stage. China's even cutting open their own robots' legs to prove they're not actors. And the Taliban? Oh yes, they're getting in on the game too. They're building battlefield bots from spare parts. Meanwhile, Tesla's Optimus is already working factory floors at a fraction of the cost. The future belongs to America, and the world knows it. So tonight we're pulling back the curtain on all of it. From Fetterman's Democrat betrayal to Operation Dirtbag's predator sweep, from Chicago's taxpayer theft to Agenda 2030's digital prison, from collapsed Russian robots to Musk's manufacturing revolution. This is your raw feed. No filters, no corporate scripts, just truth they don't want you to hear. So let's get started and welcome you to the show. Who is here right now? We got Scott, MAGA, Faranger, Vicky, James, Nicholas, Edwin the Crow, Susan, Casey, Sarah, Morgan, Deborah, James, Tulip, Lady Rebecca, the one and only Ron, the Don, Bobby, Riesling, Thunder, Kathy, Jeremy, Scooby, Roger, Clay. What's up, everybody? How are you doing tonight? Great to see everybody filing in. You know the rules. If you're going to hang out, you need to share the stream. So go ahead and copy the link wherever you're watching and send it out to your friends as a text message. Confirm you've done so by tapping 1 in the chat room. That way, you know, we can acknowledge you. We know who's actually sharing it. Who else is here? Sure, you in the house. Pothead Kenny. Nancy Pelosi's liver is back. I hope you're recovering, Nancy. I know that pipe bomb story probably sent you on a bender. We got a super chat here. Oh, we do already. Thunder dropping $5. Thunder checking in from the great free state of Florida. And then we got Constitutionally Free just became a member. Nice. Yes, Fetterman is in the hospital. He's recovering. We got some news on that. It'll be in the first segment. We got the latest, so don't you worry. So just sound off where you're watching from, what kind of device. You don't got to give your, location or anything like that, but, just let the world know, right? Just how big this family is here at the Next News Network. You're part of it. Okay, and then, yes. So we're at $5. You know the goal, $100. See if we can hit that tonight. I know we can. Somebody always comes through with a big one, and it's always great to see. And if we hit 200, well, I'll let the chat tell you what that means. Okay, Brian, let's kick it off. The shutdown is over. Trump ended it. Democrats lost everything. But what's happening right now in the aftermath is even more explosive than the shutdown itself. John Fetterman, Pennsylvania's Democrat senator, just broke ranks and exposed the sick truth. His own party was cheering for his next stroke. Yeah, cheering for him to suffer. And of course, what happens next? He falls down while on a walk. Yes, hospitalized. But that's just the beginning of what he's revealing about the cruelty of the heart of the Democrat machine. And the fallout is destroying them from the inside. Now, this isn't just another political spat. When a sitting Democrat senator admits his own party wanted him dead, cheered for his next stroke, we're witnessing the collapse of an entire political machine. Now, think about what's at stake here. If Democrats treat their own wounded soldiers with this level of cruelty, what does that mean for regular Americans, for your family, for your community? We're talking about a party that just shut down the entire federal government for 43 days, left military families without paychecks, canceled 20,000 flights, cut off food stamps for millions, all to extort money for illegal aliens. 1 million federal workers went without pay, while Congress kept collecting checks. This is the party that controls your health care, your schools, and your taxes. And now their own members are confirming what we've suspected all along. They are driven by pure hatred and control. And as we wrap up 2025, it's time to slow down and reflect. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that uncertainty isn't temporary. It's the world we live in now. Waiting for things to go back to normal isn't a plan. It's a gamble. And for over a decade, my friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves and the people they love by diversifying their wealth with gold and silver. Now, look, nobody knows what 2026 will bring, but one thing is for sure. In an uncertain world, real wealth isn't digital, it's physical, it's lasting, and it's yours. So before the year ends, take one smart step towards a safer future and visit nextnewsgold.com. Get your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. And check out that number on the screen, 877-646-5347, if you want to find out how you can get those 10 1-ounce silver holiday coins with qualified accounts. Make great stocking stuffers this year. But here's where it gets explosive. Fetterman didn't just expose cruelty. He exposed the lies. Democrats are responsible for Obamacare's failure, not Republicans. Democrats. He's calling out Bernie Sanders by name for voting against food assistance and military pay. Meanwhile, Kristi Noem is literally handing out $10,000 bonus checks to TSA workers who stayed on the job during the Democrat shutdown. Think about that contrast. Republicans paying workers out of pocket while Democrats let them suffer. And Trump, he ended it all with one signature, calling it what it was: extortion, pure extortion. So just 5 hours ago, we learned Senator Fetterman hospitalized after falling on a walk, hitting his face with minor injuries. Blue Sky Democrats have recently been posting they hope he has a stroke and dies, literally rooting for his death. Here's the news as it happened.
We have some breaking, of course, from Pennsylvania, and we have some breaking news for you from Senator Fetterman's team. During an early walk, he sustained a fall near his home. Out of an abundance of caution, he was transported to a hospital. Upon evaluation, it was established he had a ventricular fibrillation flare-up that led to him feeling lightheaded, falling, of course, from Pennsylvania. And we have some...
So he had a ventricular flare-up. All right. Now, if you think about what he's been doing lately, the guy's been going hard on television, going against his own party, enduring hate, death threats, basically death wishes online repeatedly from his own party. So I decided to ask ChatGPT, could the stress he's going hard against his own party have caused what happened? Yes. Stress absolutely can trigger dangerous heart rhythm episodes in someone with Fetterman's medical history. In his specific case, it's not only plausible, it's medically likely. Fetterman has the exact conditions that stress aggravates. He has cardiomyopathy, weakened heart muscle, a history of arrhythmias, a pacemaker, defibrillator, a stroke history, arterial fibrillation. These conditions make the electrical system of the heart unstable. When somebody already has rhythm instability, stress can easily trip it over the edge. When he's on TV, he's going hard against the Democrat government, shutdown fights, and high-pressure political battles. His body experiences elevated adrenaline, increased cortisol, higher blood pressure, faster heart rate. And for a normal heart, this is manageable. For a damaged heart, this can trigger ventricular arrhythmias, palpitations, fainting episodes, pacemaker, ICD shocks. Stress is one of the top known triggers for ventricular rhythm disturbances. So everything that he has, this shutdown caused what happened to Fetterman. Could have killed him. And Democrats would have celebrated that moment. Right? So here he is just 24 hours ago. Veronica says, well, I'm glad Mr. Fetterman sees that MAGA has seen it for a long time. John Fetterman says the left is much crueler than the right. 24 hours ago. I mean, he's crossing a line with his own party. No wonder he had a heart problem today.
You said, quote, I've drunk deeply of the venom of both the left and the right. As a connoisseur, I can confirm that the most poisonous, the bitterest, is from the far left. That is pretty remarkable to hear you say that as an elected Democrat. Why?
No. It's just been my personal experience on this thing. And when I asked my digital team, I said, we're on all the platforms, really what's kind of the harshest, what's kind of the most personal? And the answer was immediate. He said, blue sky, it's blue sky. And the difference is, the right would say really rough things and names, some names I won't repeat on TV, but the on the left, it was like they want me to die, or that we're cheering for your next stroke, or that's terrible that depression won. Why couldn't it depression won? And I hope your kids find you. They even have like the graphic, a GIF where they have like a stroke, in your head, cheering at that. Yeah, and they said that. I remember one. They claimed, the doctor let us down, and why did they have to save his life? Just really, I just can't imagine. People are wishing, I wish he dies, or I want him to die. Literally cheering for a stroke. And I don't know what the kind of a place where that comes from. That's much different than just calling me a name. That's really been consistent, in that community online.
You said, quote,
and of course, those are all CNN viewers as well. Fetterman says Democrats are responsible for Obamacare's ACA. Sean Farash posting this. He says Fetterman's right. Obamacare has been an unmitigated disaster.
To people that are watching it, to people that are watching, it's like the Democrats, we designed these to expire at the end of the year. This wasn't something that Republicans are taking. It's like, that's how we designed this. To people that
Democrats designed it. Fetterman criticizes Bernie Sanders for repeatedly voting to deny the needy their food assistance or U.S. military their pay. Paul Zappulo says, good for Fetterman for saying these things. He's one of the only sensible Democrats in Congress these days.
Americans. What do you say to those like Bernie Sanders, who insists that this vote paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid and the likelihood that premiums will double, triple, or even quadruple for 20 million Americans?
Well, Bernie should answer why he's okay with putting 42 million Americans to face mass food insecurity, or he can explain to the military why it's okay not to pay them. And the tens of millions of Americans that are going to be flying and are flying, now.
What do you say to?
I mean, what do those individuals say when they see Bernie Sanders or Chuck Schumer in the airport? What do they say? What would you say if you were one of those individuals that were directly affected, didn't get paid? We're panicking because these guys held your paycheck hostage. Well, Secretary Noem handing out $10,000 bonus checks to Houston TSA workers who stepped up and showed up to work during the Democrat government shutdown. I wonder what happens to those who decided they were going to skip out and do Uber instead. Do they still get the check?
But we will be looking at every single TSA official that helped serve during this government shutdown and do what we can to recognize that and help them financially with a bonus check to get them and their family back on their feet. So with that, Rico, I want to present to you a check and say thank you from the American people. Appreciate it. Ashley, and thank you. Yes. And is Leo here? All right, Leo.
Secretary Noem handing out checks to TSA agents who stayed loyal and showed up to work despite it all. Bannon's War Room 8 hours ago, Mark Mitchell says Trump's numbers held strong through the shutdown until Republicans ran out of a plan. Voters expect action. The right talks about burning down the oligarchy, but still hasn't lit the match.
The Grim Reaper. What happened is Donald Trump's numbers didn't take a nosedive at all for the first 3 weeks of the shutdown. It was incredible.
Mark Mitchell, lead pollster, Rasmussen reports.
I didn't know what to expect, and people are like, okay, whatever, sure, we're going to shut this down. And on the internet, which I admit is not real world, everybody was like, oh, look, we got to get Russ Vogt, the Grim Reaper. So what happened is about 3 weeks into this, when Donald Trump's flying around the world talking to dignitaries, and we're building the East Wing of the White House, and now food stamps are going to get defunded, and we're walking into an election, all of a sudden his numbers started tanking. And it was very clear that, in my opinion, the Republicans had no plan, and everybody went on the internet, and everyone was ripping their faces off on the right about Israel. And so I think that's what happened. And then you look at the elections and it's like, oh, yep, independents and crossover Democrats didn't turn out in New Jersey. And some of them might have been affected by what was going on, but clearly some of them, I think, just expected more out of a Republican Party and are not excited to go to the polls. Democrats are excited to go vote because they hate Trump, and that motivates them. On the right, unfortunately, what motivates them is smashing the oligarchy and burning the government down. And the right is not doing that, and so the left's going to get a chance. The pendulum's going to swing back, and this might be the last chance. I don't know. We got 355 days to an election, and the Republicans are going to lose this one. They are just going to lose it. It looked like their plan was a gerrymandering war of attrition that they're now appearing to lose. And the generic ballot is, I think, Democrat +5 on the Real Clear Politics aggregate. Rich says his numbers are way worse than that. I don't.
Dude, if we lose the midterms, it's going to be an impeachment party all over again. Impeachment number 3 on the horizon. So, folks, turn out. Bill O'Reilly says the Democrats shut down the government for 43 days and got bupkis. It's embarrassing. A resounding defeat. No spin. Let's listen.
They're saying you should have. The Democratic Party right now is fractured. Okay, so I don't even know what they got. What did they get holding up the government for 43 days? What? Did they get anything, Cuomo?
Well, that's their beef. Is they're saying you should have kept it shut down, and we would have gotten what we wanted, which was to fix health care for people.
Coulda. let's deal with history. What did the Democratic Party get for shutting the government down for 43 days? What?
Nothing, but that's their complaint, Bill. They're saying the senators shouldn't have acquiesced. That's why they're saying they caved.
I don't care about the complaints. So on the record, I don't care about the complaint. Who cares what they say? On the record is we, the Democratic Party, shut down the United States government for 43 days and got bupkis. That's pretty embarrassing, I think, right? Isn't that embarrassing?
Well,
let me.
Can I
answer?
Please. Yes, Bill. It's embarrassing if you're looking at it from the macro, if you're somebody that's just paying attention to the final result. The Democrats, however, who voted to hold the line, their position is clearly if we had held out, ultimately, this would have been perceived as a Trump shutdown. There would have been some caving on the part of some of the GOP members because they represent states where they were going to be affected by the shutdown as well, and they would have been made to pay a price. Had that happened, then they would be making a different argument. They can't make the argument because some of their own decided to go with the GOP, which you know, Bill, and that's what it is.
Look. That's exactly what happened. They defected and gave Trump the win. Secretary Rollins says, where was the sense of humanity? 15 different times they voted
for illegal aliens. Where is the sense of humanity when 15 different times over 45 days, they themselves admitted they were holding Americans hostage to a, $200 million for health care for illegal aliens, $50 million for NPR and left-leaning media centers, millions for LGBTQ programs in the Balkans and other countries around the world. Are you serious right now? Is this why you're not going to open the government to support these programs that the majority of Americans, perhaps even the supermajority of Americans, do not support? And that is really the crux of the situation. Again, the president was so clear, and we were band-aiding, and we were duct taping, and we were bubble gumming all the way through October to get those funds out. And from the very beginning of October, we said, guys, November 1, there is nothing left. There is nothing that we believe statutorily, constitutionally, that we are able to do. We have got to get the government open so that Najee and all of these families can get their benefits.
And finally, the government opened, President Trump signing it into law last night. Here is 21 hours ago.
For the past 43 days, Democrats in Congress shut down the government of the United States in an attempt to extort American taxpayers for hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country illegally, from gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions. They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion, which would have really hurt our health care businesses and our recipients at levels never seen before. Today, we're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion, because that's what it was. They tried to extort. The Democrats tried to extort our country. In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we asked Democrats to send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation and we'll talk later. Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history, and they did it purely for political reasons.
Disgusting. How many people were affected? How much momentum did Trump lose? Here's what happened. Inflicted massive harm, he says, President Trump in the Oval Office last night.
So late. Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid. And the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately, including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country. I also want to call for a termination to the filibuster so that this can never happen again. Over the past,
so it can never happen again. And guess what? It's going to happen again in January. President Trump remarks, says, I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with health care, and we're going to forget this Obamacare madness.
Much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot of money to the people. They're going to go out and buy their own health care, and we're going to forget this Obamacare madness. So I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with health care. We can do a lot better. We can do great. So much money is involved, and we're willing to pay so much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot.
President Trump signing the bill officially ending the government shutdown. With my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations, and my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living and restore public safety, make America affordable again for all Americans. Let's check in with Stephen Miller. He went off on the Democrats for costing our economy billions with their useless shutdown. Billions of dollars they cost us.
Understanding Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries being terrified of the Mondami wing, the AOC wing of the Democrat Party, understanding that they're not in control of anything anymore. It is a communist party. Is it an America Last party? It is a party that puts illegals over citizens, criminals over cops, cheaters over hardworking taxpayers at every level. This shutdown was an example of just how little the Democrats care about Americans. They forced our national security workers to go without pay. They forced Americans to be stuck at airports, flights canceled at levels never seen before in history. Why? All for what? $1.5 trillion of demands, including free health care for illegal aliens, to bloat the government, to steal from taxpayers, to steal from working Americans. And at the end, after over 40 days, what did they get? Nothing. Defeated, humiliated, disgraced. But in the meantime, they sucked billions of dollars in wealth out of the economy. Think about the contrast, Sean. President Trump bringing trillions of investment into America, giving Americans trillions of dollars in tax cuts. And what did Democrats do in their big moment? They steal hardworking money from our taxpayers, they cancel their flights, and they destroy billions of dollars in economic value. You will not see a clear contrast. The Democrats are the party of destruction. President Trump is leading the party of creation, opportunity, and wealth. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem.
Stephen Miller, he just said the quiet part out loud. This is not a political party anymore. It is communist America. It is a communist America Last racket. A party that puts illegals over citizens and criminals over cops and chaos over order. And now their own senator is confirming it. The cruelty, the hatred, the willingness to destroy lives for power, it's all real. And the shutdown, total failure. 43 days of pain for nothing. Democrats got, as Bill Riley said, absolutely bupkis. So this matters because we're not dealing with political opponents anymore. We're dealing with an ideology that celebrates suffering. When Fetterman admits the left wanted him to die, that's not hyperbole, that's confession. When Democrats shut down government for 43 days to fund illegal aliens while Americans starve, that's not politics. That's warfare against American citizens. Trump didn't negotiate with these terrorists. He ended their game with one signature and got America working again. So here's the question for the comment section. Will more Democrats follow Fetterman's lead and speak truth, or will they stay silent while their party devours itself? What do you think? But what about this? Should Republicans welcome defecting Democrats like Fetterman with open arms? Let's have a conversation. And while you're fired up, check out our merch shop, link below, and wear your patriotism proudly. You see, this is bigger than any party politics now. This is about saving America from those who openly admit they want their opponents dead. James Fay coming in with $2. Thank you, James, for your super chat. Hello, Patriots, he says. All right, we're at $7 in super chats. Who is going to be the next one to drop a super chat and get acknowledgement in the live stream? Brian has to do something here. Tell Gary Bloomberg City Centers, now Mayor's Program Research, and the party system. Founding fathers didn't want it. They're going to become the Democrat. Oh, excuse me. Big tent, Mr. Gary. Hopefully more. The lunatics have taken over the asylum. All love and God bless. What's up, Potted? Tony. Bill Clinton gets the blue dress out once in a while. Ugh. Please, Bloomberg, I don't know what that means. Don't beg, says Deridio. I'm a dedicated liberal. I was welcomed with open arms. Welcome to the family. How much gaslighting are we supposed to take? All right. We're getting some of these systems updated here. Okay. Oh, boy. Let's see. Portland. What the hell? Operation Dirtbag. This is wild. Okay. Okay, thank you, Brian. Just getting this queued up for you guys. Where did that go? All right. $150 illegal alien sexual predators, one sweep, one state, and that's just the beginning. While Democrat politicians are literally assaulting federal agents and facing 18 years in prison, Trump's enforcement army is clearing house like never before. What you're about to see is the complete destruction of the sanctuary state lie and the most massive law enforcement victory in years. The criminals are running. The Democrats are panicking, and America is winning. And you see, this is really about your children's safety, your community's future. Every one of those 150 predators was targeting kids, committing sexual assault, destroying innocent lives, and Democrats were protecting them. When a sitting congresswoman assaults federal agents and ICE reports a 100% spike in attacks, we're not talking about policy disagreements anymore. We're talking about organized resistance to law enforcement. Add in Democrat staffers fraudulently impersonating attorneys to spring 4-time deported criminals. That's aiding and abetting foreign invaders. Meanwhile, Mexican cartels were pumping fentanyl into your neighborhoods, killing your kids, destroying your families. That's not immigration policy. It's chemical warfare. And Democrats were the supply line. And just like Democrats protecting illegal predators puts families at risk, cyber predators are hunting your identity right now. The massive Gmail hack exposed 183 million passwords, including yours. Identity thieves use it to drain your accounts, destroy credit, steal your life savings, but Virtual Shield protects you like ICE protects our borders. It monitors the dark web for your leaked data, sends instant alerts when criminals try to use it. If they strike, you get $5 million in insurance coverage plus experts who handle everything. While Trump's team hunts predators on our streets, Virtual Shield hunts them online for just $4.88 monthly. Shield your family from digital invasion at virtualshield.com/next news. You will find the link in the description. But here's what changes everything. FBI Director Kash Patel just announced that China has shut down all 13 fentanyl precursors, effective immediately. The entire pipeline that created fentanyl banned. Trump did what Biden couldn't even attempt. Tens of thousands of American lives saved with just one deal. And while the victory unfolds, the USS St. Louis, a Navy combat ship, just completed southern border operations. We are now deploying warships to stop the invasion the Democrats invited. And over in Portland, look, they're throwing rocks at federal vehicles crossing federal property lines, then crying victim when arrested. Same playbook, different day, but total failure. Look at this. This is last night. Outside the Portland ICE facility, there were a few arrests, according to Right Side Rebel. He writes, I recognize one of the individuals, the same woman I saw earlier in the week, throwing rocks at federal agents' vehicles as they left the compound. Others crossed the blue line onto federal property and tried to interfere with arrests. They cry victim, but the truth is simple. There are rules, and they chose not to follow them. One by one, they each go down. Kash Patel on the fentanyl breakthrough with China.
And this is all thanks to President Trump's brave leadership to engage directly with President Xi Jinping and make one of the pillars of his administration defeating the plague of fentanyl and illegal narcotics. And that set in motion the Attorney General to call her counterpart and designate the FBI and myself as the lead to engage and follow up with President Trump's historic engagement with President Xi just a few weeks ago in Korea. And what was accomplished when I went to Beijing was an actual full-out agreement to concretely adhere to the notion that we will not allow fentanyl to pour into the United States of America. But you got to break that down. What does that mean? We know the Mexican drug traffickers are making it, but where are they getting the ingredients? The fentanyl precursors are distributed by and through companies in China. And what they have now done is, pursuant to our agreement, where we asked for all 13 fentanyl precursors to be designated and fully restricted, and a further 7 chemicals to be restricted as well. This effectively shuts off all of the chemicals and ingredients used to make fentanyl. No other president has done this. Thanks to the Department of Justice and the FBI, we were able to get on the ground and get in the room with the Chinese for the first time ever and receive the reception that President Trump created with President Xi. And now tens of thousands of American lives have been saved by one fell swoop thanks to President Trump and this FBI. This is
one simple action, the art of the deal on the global stage right there. Who knew that was going on? Nobody. And now the DHS is accusing a member of Senate Tammy Duckworth's office of fraudulently posing as an attorney to get a detained Mexican illegal alien released. Jose Ismael Iozu Sandoval, previously been deported 4 times, has a DUI conviction, according to Fox. Listen to this.
All new at 2, a shocking new claim from ICE Acting Director Todd Lyons accusing a Democrat Senate staffer of fraudulently posing as legal representation for an illegal migrant in Illinois. That staffer allegedly coming from Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth's office. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith. This is America Reports, Hour 2. Good to have you here today, Trace.
Sandra, great to be with you. I'm Trace Gallagher in Los Angeles. John Roberts has the day off. ICE says the illegal migrant has been deported 4 times, and Fox News has video of the visit in question.
Senior correspondent Mike Tobin reports live on the breaking details from Chicago for us. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Sandra. A letter has been delivered from Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons to the office of Senator Tammy Duckworth, accusing one of her staffers of misrepresenting himself as a lawyer in order to get an illegal immigrant released from federal custody after he was picked up as part of Operation Midway Blitz. Lyons and his staff released a video they claim shows a staffer named Edward York on October 29th having traveled to Missouri where the detainee was being held. Now, that detainee is Jose Ismael Ayuso Sandoval. And ICE claims he's a 4-time deportee and also has a conviction for DUI. They claim York filled out a G-28 form known as a Notice of Appearance as Attorney or Accredited Representation form, when in fact York, according to ICE, is not an attorney. So the meat of the letter boils down to one line. In a discussion with a federal officer, York claimed to be Mr. Ayuso's attorney. Now, included in the letter is a post from the Montgomery County, Illinois Democrats, apparently from October, stating that a Duckworth staffer was headed to get Sandoval released. It did not intend to reveal that he worked for Duckworth, and Governor Pritzker's office is heavily involved, according to that post.
Wow.
Now, we know that Edward
That's
York is, in
scandal,
fact,
folks.
staff for Senator Duckworth. He is a caseworker who is supposed to help constituents with different problems. He is not listed with the bar in Illinois or Missouri. Duckworth's office confirms they have received the letter. They have found problems with it, right down to the fact that the JB in Governor J.B. Pritzker is spelled wrong. A representative Duckworth's office says this one requires lawyers to look at it before they issue a formal response.
They point out a spelling error of Pritzker's name. Wow. Is that the best you can do? Huh. Here we have this, another one. Alina Hava on X said Representative LaMonica McIver assaulted federal agents. If convicted on all counts, she's facing 18 years in prison. Remember this moment?
Hava said on X, New Jersey Representative LaMonica McIver assaulted federal agents. So Hava's office is charging her with that, along with interfering with law enforcement. In a statement, McIver says, in part, the charges against me are purely political. They mischaracterize and distort my actions and are meant to criminalize and deter legislative oversight.
Remember this moment? Yep.
Bring your hand go for her. What? He just assaulted me. Let's just walk on this. I am filing a complaint. All right. I am filing a complaint. Listen to me. I'm filing a complaint.
Yeah, it looks like someone else filed a complaint on you, honey.
Put your hands on me.
She says federal agents were the ones who escalated the situation when she and 3 other Democratic members of Congress went to that ICE facility, Delaney Hall. DHS says video shows her shoving and body slamming an officer. You can see her there in the red. McIver, however, denied that. Hava said on X.
Oh, but there's video, right? Okay, so she can deny it all she wants. Here we have this from the ICE deputy, Madison Sheehan. What have they done in just 10 days?
In just 10 days, we've been able to remove, in partnership with the state of Florida, over 230 of the worst heinous criminals from their streets. Our job as law enforcement is to protect the most vulnerable. Democrats will tell you that that is the criminal illegal aliens who they have let run free in our communities, but not this group of law enforcement. We know that it's the children that is our job to protect. These men and women put their lives on the line every single day to protect the children of their communities and protect the American people and put them first. And that's just what we've done. These heinous criminals have gone and attacked children at their most vulnerable state, and law enforcement has stepped up to the plate to remove them from the communities. Over the last 10 days, we have removed 54 sexual predators, 164 offenders of sexual crimes, 2 convicted murderers, 1 convicted of drug trafficking, and 8 other heinous felonies.
Oh, man. They are cleaning it up, aren't they? Here we have this. ICE in Florida teamed up in a massive crackdown, arresting over 230 criminal illegal aliens across the state, dubbed Operation Dirtbag. Officials say this is the largest joint effort to target the worst offenders in Florida. Operation Dirtbag sees 150 illegal migrant sexual predators nabbed in Florida. Kristi Noem making the announcement. And let's check in with Kash Patel. This was at the press briefing yesterday when he made the big announcement. It was quite shocking because no one expected him to be there.
To my engagement, this was the first time an FBI director has been to China in over a decade and received the audience with his counterpart to address this matter directly. And again, thanks to President Trump's direct engagement with President Xi, the government of China committed fully to my engagement there on the ground in Beijing at a level never seen before. While at Ministry of Public Security headquarters, I met with my counterpart at MPS, where the Chinese government agreed on a plan to stop fentanyl precursors. What does that mean? The People's Republic of China has fully designated and listed all 13 precursors utilized to make fentanyl. Furthermore, they have agreed to control 7 chemical subsidiaries that are also utilized to produce this lethal drug. Effective immediately, essentially, President Trump has shut off the pipeline that creates fentanyl that kills tens of thousands of Americans. These substances are now banned, and they will no longer be utilized by the Mexican drug trafficking organizations or any other DTOs around the world to make this drug. This historic achievement has saved tens of thousands of lives. This historic achievement would not have been possible without the tremendous team of President Trump, the Attorney General, the Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and Ambassador Perdue in China, whose ground-level engagements were imperative to achieving this result. This is yet another example of how President Trump defends the American people, provides security for the American people, and puts the American people first. This is a historic first-in-its-kind achievement by any president to stop the scourge of fentanyl, and it should be championed by every single American. This achievement will save lives.
It will save lives. And you know what else might save lives? Trump dynasty. President Trump said his son Barron and all of his children could be future Trump presidents.
Delicate attention. It would fit perfectly. But when you look at that job. Nobody's ever seen it. Do any of your kids have that same delicate attention to detail that you have? Because that's kind of, you can't really teach that. I think they do. I think Eric is very good. Don in a very different way is good. Ivanka is, Tiffany's very smart. She was a great student, always a great student. They're all great students. Actually, they were all great students. And I think Barron's going to be tremendous at that. Yeah, he's very meticulous. Is he here? He is. He's here. Oh. He's right upstairs. Want to see him? Studying, yeah. I'd love to see him. He's doing a good job. He's tall. A lot of people think. He's a tall one. A lot of people think he could be the next Trump president. I don't know. I think. Or a lot of people are wondering which child would be the best. In a certain way, they all could. Take a look at this, fellas. You want to see detail. So, like this sign, it would fit perfectly.
Oh, yeah. You want to trigger the left? You go ahead and start electing more. Here is Kristi Noem.
I call it amazing. This operation was called Operation Criminal Return. I call it Operation Dirtbag because these individuals were sex offenders, but not just sex offenders. They targeted children. So sexual assault, battery, attempted homicide. These 150 individuals will be gone off of our streets. Our kids will be safer. And this partnership with Governor DeSantis in Florida is a model that we want to replicate across the country. These individuals should have never been in our country to begin with. The fact that they were sexual deviants and perverts, and now we've gotten them off of our streets, it's remarkable, and we need to do more of it. Really amazing.
Kristi Noem dropping the hammer, calling it Operation Dirtbag. Originally Operation Criminal Return, but I like Kristi's better. Because these aren't migrants seeking better lives. These are the worst of the worst child predators, rapists, career criminals. 230 removed in 10 days just from Florida. While Democrats attack the agents doing the removing, while their staffers commit fraud to free convicted felons. This is the Democrat sanctuary system exposed, destroyed, and swept clean. You see, America's back in the enforcement business, and the results speak for themselves. When you arrest 150 sexual predators in one operation, when you shut down the fentanyl pipeline at its source, when you deploy Navy ships to secure borders, you're not playing politics, you're saving lives. Every predator removed is a child protected. Every fentanyl precursor banned is a family saved from destruction. Every federal agent protected is sovereignty restored. The Democrats chose criminals over citizens. They chose Mexican cartels over American kids. They chose chaos over law. And now they're paying the price. My question, should assaulting a federal agent be an automatic expulsion from Congress? Yes or no? Drop your answer below. And remember, Next News gear available in our shop. Show the world that you stand with law and order. It's not about immigration anymore. It's about whether America remains a nation of laws or becomes a sanctuary for predators. All right. You guys are coming in hot. Thunder dropping $5, bringing the thunder. Thunder Amu. Thank you. Stephen Mills just gifted 10 memberships. Holy cow. 10 memberships. Stephen Mills. Tracer, It's the Kid, LV, Joan, Amanda, MWV, Forgotten American, Bam Bam, Red Storm, Joseph Pack, all new members. Welcome to the family. And Fran dropping $1. Thank you, Fran. Terry Smith dropping $1.99. Actions speak louder than words. Thank you, Terry. And Irving coming in with a big one, $25. Obamacare is a scam. Thank you, Irving, and everybody who just dropped some super chats to keep this show on the road. And we are going to keep going down that road. We got some more to break down for you. Yep, Gavin Newsom. Oh, yeah, Chicago public schools. These guys are just like the worst. I don't know how these people do this, how they sleep at night. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go, Brian. $7.7 million. That's what taxpayers spent on Egyptian safaris and Vegas parties for Chicago school bureaucrats while kids can't even read. But that's pocket change compared to what just happened in California. Gavin Newsom's own chief of staff just got indicted for a corruption scheme so massive, so brazen, it makes third world dictators look honest. Shell companies, fake jobs, luxury handbags, birthday trips costing more than most American makes in 3 years. The receipts are in and the indictments are absolutely real. You see, your tax dollars are being wasted. Okay? But more importantly, I guess you could really call it being stolen. When Chicago teachers blow millions on hot air balloons and safaris during a $734 million deficit, that's theft from your kids' education. California's political elite used campaign funds for $15,000 Chanel bags and $170,000 birthday parties. That's organized crime. These are not isolated incidents, though. This is how Democrat-run states operate. One-party rules equal unchecked corruption. No oversight and no consequences. Just an endless gravy train funded by you. Meanwhile, Mayor Brandon Johnson preaches hatred against Trump and whites and capitalism on podcasts, poisoning minds while his administration empties the treasury. This is what happens when accountability dies, when media covers for corruption and when voters stop paying attention. And as we wrap up 2025, it's time to slow down and reflect. If there's one thing that we've learned, it's that uncertainty isn't temporary, it's the world we live in now. Waiting for things to go back to normal isn't the plan, it's a gamble. For over a decade, my friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves and the people they love by diversifying their wealth with gold and silver. Now look, nobody knows what will happen in 2026. But one thing's for sure. In an uncertain world, real wealth isn't digital, it's physical, it's lasting, and it's yours. So before the year ends, take one smart step towards a safer future and visit nextnewsgold.com. It's linked below to get your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. And if you call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347, ask Colin over there how you can get the 10-ounce silver holiday coins with qualified accounts. Maybe you'll get it in time. You can drop them in those stockings this Christmas. Okay, so this is what's crazy. All right? The corruption, it runs deeper. It runs deeper than travel expenses. Dana Williamson didn't just steal. She built an empire. Consulting firms funneling money. Shell companies hiding transfers. Money from Xavier Becerra's dormant campaign flowing through fake employees, lobbyists, relatives on phantom payrolls. And when she joined Newsom's team, she handed the operation to a co-conspirator. The scheme continued from inside the governor's office. Meanwhile, Chicago's inspector general found 40% of luxury trips had zero approval, spending limits ignored, 600 employees partying in Vegas on taxpayer dimes while schools crumble. Here is Cron 4 News. At 3:45 p.m. when Dana Williamson, former chief staff to California Governor Newsom, walked out of the federal courthouse in downtown Sacramento after pleading not guilty to federal corruption charges. This is the unedited media scrum as it happened.
Was her plea. Now, this is big news for someone who once held one of the most powerful jobs in Sacramento, and now we're just waiting on Williamson to leave the courthouse here. And actually, here she is live. Here we go, everybody, live on Cron 4. Ms. Williamson, live on Cron 4. Oops, sorry. Any comment?
Should other California officials and people involved in the government be concerned now with this investigation underway?
Do you have any comment, Ms. Williamson?
No, you guys can contact my attorney.
Do you have anything to say at all?
No, you guys can contact my attorney. That's typical. They all sound the same, too.
Comment, Ms. Williamson?
No, you guys can contact my attorney.
Do you have anything to say at all?
Ms. Williamson, do you have anything to say to Javier Becerra right now? He called this.
Have you been cooperating with prosecutors? Excuse me.
Ms. Williamson, you have nothing to say with the 23 counts against you.
Do you have your side of the story you would like to share with Cron 4 viewers? Do you have your side of the story you'd like to share with the viewers at home? And Justine, we're watching this live. There you have Governor Gavin Newsom's former chief of staff getting into a car here outside of the federal courthouse in Sacramento. And there she goes. You can see it's a media scrum out here, Justine. This all happening live here on Cron 4. Again, that's Dana Williamson, former chief of staff to Governor Gavin Newsom. They're answering my question. She said if we could speak to her attorneys, that's how we will hear. But we should tell you that her attorneys earlier said they had no comment on this. And there you can see the car driving away there as we're live here on Cron 4. Now, a little bit about this, Justine. Not guilty was...
Oh, man. This is bad news for Gavin Newsom. Former chief of staff indicted on federal public corruption charges, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud and bank fraud, serving as Newsom's top aide from 22 to 24, accused of helping funnel $225 million from dormant campaign accounts belonging to former HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra to Becerra's former chief of staff, Sean McCluskey. Becerra's running for California governor, too.
From a dormant Governor Gavin Newsom's former chief of staff has been arrested and is facing federal corruption charges. 4 other people, including former Secretary of Health and Human Services General Javier Becerra's former chief of staff, also is charged. The indictment names Dana Williamson, who left the governor's office nearly a year ago. The 23-count indictment claims Williamson and 4 others conspired to divert $225,000 in funds from a dormant campaign account. Court documents also detail multiple false statements made to federal investigators and as well as obstruction of justice. Williamson is scheduled to make her initial appearance in federal court this afternoon. Governor Gavin Newsom's
she made her appearance, pled not guilty over in Chicago. The Illinois Republican Party posting this 8 hours ago. So why did Chicago Public Schools bankroll a teacher's $4,700 trip to a Hawaiian luxury resort, a suburban spa retreat for elementary school staff, and limo, not Uber services, to and from Chicago airports? Many folks can't even expense a ride share for a work event. Here is the front page editorial section. Chicago Tribune: spas, suites, safaris, and shopping. Who wouldn't want to work at CPS? Well, even Chicago Tribune editorial section getting in on the game. Oh, yeah. Gavin Newsom, Chicago, Illinois, California, both states, the worst of the worst. Chicago Contrarian says, listen to the message the Chicago mayor passes on to young Chicagoans. Hate Trump, hate Whitey, hate corporate America, hate the rich. Socialism, the path forward. If this is what Johnson utters in a podcast, imagine what poison he fed students in his classroom. But imagine what he says when he's not being recorded.
I'll say it like this. So civil rights did not
disrupt the rights of white people.
Yeah.
Even though, it was like, oh my God, if you give black people civil rights, our country's going to fall apart and white folks are going to lose everything. That didn't happen. It's the same thing with civil unions and gay marriage. It didn't end mine. Right? And so I think it's similarly with immigration. Like immigrants are not taking jobs from black folks. Corporate greed is. 300,000 black women lost their jobs because of Donald Trump, not because of immigrants. And so my view is this. It's like flow with me, Matt, since you're the only one in that's saved here, all right?
Saved man.
It's like, Joseph, right, who, took care of his siblings when he reached the point of leadership. But the Bible also says that he was able to take care of the world as well. There's more than enough in this country for everyone. We saw the largest upward transfer of wealth to the ultra rich than any other time in the history of Chicago. $1 trillion. Half of it went to, 200,000 households. Right? You know what I'm saying?
$1 trillion.
And what did they do? Did they actually work? Did they actually produce something? I'm sure they probably did. Wealth transfer, my ass.
Going to a handful of people. And so we have to draw our attention towards where the real threat is coming from. And it's these large corporations, these big tech companies that continue to disrupt our lives. I'll say it like this.
Large corporations and big tech companies. I'll bet you $1 million he's got an Apple iPhone in his wallet, and he shops at Walmart, and you know what I'm saying, right? The mainstream media has been lying about Trump for over a decade. Trump is the most lied about president in history. Don't believe the mainstream media ever. Remember this moment? Trump's trying to kill the fish in Japan.
He had compromised edited a video to make it appear as though Trump impatiently dumped a box of fish food into the water in Japan. The full video showed Trump had simply followed the lead of Japan's prime minister.
Here we have this from the Wall Street apes on the CPS scandal rocking Chicago public schools. The Office of the Inspector General found they spent $7.7 million of taxpayer money on travel last year. Excessive spending on overnight trips for staff incursions to places like Egypt, Finland, and South Africa. What are those? Are those field trips?
CPS travel. Terrell, the new report from the Office of Inspector General points to what it calls questionable excessive spending on overnight trips for CPS employees, including staff excursions to places like Egypt, Finland, and South Africa. This morning, the oversight body Watchdog urging Chicago Public Schools to reform its travel policies after the Office of Inspector General found CPS travel expenditures surged to $7.7 million last year. That's more than double what the district spent 5 years prior before the pandemic. The report states CPS staffers repeatedly exceeded spending limits and expensed trips and activities without approval, including a professional development conference in Las Vegas that more than 600 employees attended between 2022 and 2024, spending more than $1.5 million in district dollars. Nearly 90% of attendees stayed in hotels exceeding CPS spending limits. The Watchdog Group also found about 40% of all conference attendees traveled without receiving approval. This all while CPS faced a $734 million deficit this year before passing a $10.2 billion budget in August. CPS says the district takes the report findings seriously, saying in part, quote, effective October 29, CPS is restricting nearly all employee travel and has formed a travel review committee effective November 2025. Travel controls, transparency, and auditability will improve with the implementation of the new enterprise resource planning financial system that is currently underway. And
yeah. Arrests, maybe? Indictments, something, perhaps? No. Ben Bradley, Chicago Public Schools spending on travel has doubled since 2019. The staff trips included safaris, hot air balloon rides, and Vegas visits. Oh, my goodness. Gavin Newsom's former chief of staff, here's Steve Hilton, indicted for corruption. Democrat one-party rule is corrupt.
The Department of Justice. So we've just seen this massive corruption scandal break involving Gavin Newsom's former chief of staff, indicted by the Department of Justice on a whole range of corruption-related crimes. The thing about this is that it's not some isolated scandal involving one person. This is what you get after 15 years of one-party rule. These years of one-party rule by the Democrats, they've rotted our government from the inside out, because this arrogance has turned into complacency, entitlement, and corruption. They think they can get away with anything. The rules don't apply to them. They can do whatever they want, and there's going to be no consequences. Gavin Newsom, unbelievably, is sticking up for this person. It is totally outrageous. This shows why it is time for change in California. That's why I'm running for governor, to end 15 years of corrupt Democrat rule. So we've just seen this massive corrupt.
Good luck to you. You've got a big job ahead of you. But I have a feeling that this bad news is only going to get worse. The case goes deeper.
Money from Breaking this afternoon, a former aide to Governor Newsom has been indicted on federal charges accused of stealing campaign money from Javier Becerra. Dana Williamson appeared in court today in Sacramento and pleaded not guilty to all charges. Becerra was California's attorney general before being appointed health secretary by former President Biden. The indictment also lists 4 other accomplices. The governor released a statement saying in part he expects all public servants to uphold the highest standards of integrity.
Yeah, like going to the French Laundry during COVID. One day ago, Kevin Dalton writes, while Gavin Newsom is in Brazil criticizing President Trump's economic and climate policies, it's a good time to remind everyone that Gavin blamed his nearly $100 billion deficit on, checks notes, the weather.
On average. Can we explain to Californians how we moved from a $100 billion surplus to such a significant deficit in just a matter of a few years?
Well, it's, we can explain it. $349 billion of unprecedented capital gains.
That's Travis Gilmore asking the question. That's my buddy from the White House at the Epoch Times, dude. I know that voice. Yeah, baby, go.
Can we explain to...
He used to work as for the press pool in the governor's office. He's told me stories about it.
Californians how we moved from Can we explain to Californians how we moved from a $100 billion surplus to such a significant deficit in just a matter of a few years?
Well, it's, we can explain it. $349 billion of unprecedented capital gains, 11.6%, when traditional capital gains is around 5.18% on average. It's almost double. So you have massive volatility. You have requirements under Prop 2, the GAN. You have requirements under Prop 98, which require that set aside. We use 93% of our surplus, which is, I want to be careful.
Does anything he's saying make any sense? We have volatility, we had a surplus, we had a thing, we had a that, da-da-da. We move my hands around a lot and put some more gel in my hair, make me look nice, and I'll just talk like a guy, da-da-da. Okay. No, the highlight of my moment there was hearing Travis. You guys know Travis. He's been on the show. Oh, man. But you heard it. Steve Hilton, he nailed it. Democrat one-party rule is corrupt. Arrogance turned to complacency, turned to entitlement that rotted government from the inside. And while Newsom is attacking Trump's economic policies from Brazil, he's sitting on a $100 billion deficit he blames on the weather. His former chief of staff under federal indictment, his state bleeding residents, his party exposed as a criminal enterprise. This is Democrat governance stripped naked. And they're not even trying to hide it anymore. When school officials take safaris while classrooms lack books. When political staffers buy Chanel with campaign cash. When mayors preach socialism while practicing theft, the mask is completely off. This is not mismanagement. It's systematic looting. Chicago, California, they're not outliers. They are the Democrat model. One-party states become criminal enterprises because there's nobody left to stop them. The media won't investigate. The feds won't prosecute. The voters are too indoctrinated to care. Only outside pressure, like federal indictments, can actually break through. So here's the question. Should every government expense over $1,000 require public disclosure within 24 hours? Yes or no? Let's have a conversation. And if you're as disgusted as I am, grab some Next News gear from our shop and show them you're watching, because sunlight remains the best disinfectant, and these cockroaches just got exposed. What's up? A couple more super chats have just come through. For Ranger dropping $2. They sleep heavy medicated, Gary. Yes, they do. And Barbara dropping 99 cents, a drooling face. Must be an emoji. Thank you, guys. We're now at $42.98, almost halfway to our goal tonight of $100. We're going to go into our next topic right now. What is this? The Agenda 2030. Oh, yes. Are you ready for this? Agenda 2030 now exposed. Let's see. Well, they're not hiding it anymore. The UN just demanded global censorship powers. Australia confirms mandatory digital ID tied to every online action. Canada is rolling out programmable money that controls what you can buy. The World Economic Forum admits their plan will create deliberate shocks to society. What started as Agenda 21 blueprint is now Agenda 2030's operational phase. Everything the so-called conspiracy theorists warned about, it's starting to look awfully real. And it's accelerating faster than anyone predicted. This is actually happening, and it's happening right now. Everything you do online tracked, every dollar you spend programmed, every word you type monitored by AI. This is not dystopian fiction. It's being implemented right now. When the UN chief calls free speech a tsunami of conspiracy theories demanding immediate action, he's talking about silencing you asking questions. When Australia requires digital ID for all online presence, that's the end of autonomy forever. When Canada tests programmable currency, they control what you buy, where you go, and who you support. Or your carbon allowance, your meat ration, your travel quota, all enforced through digital systems already being deployed. Agenda 21 proposed it. Agenda 2030 enforces it. And they're using climate emergency as the excuse to rush implementation before people wake up. While global elites build digital prisons to track your every move, hackers already have your data. That Gmail breach exposed 183 million passwords, yours included. Identity thieves are draining accounts, destroying credit, ruining lives daily. But there is protection. Virtual Shield monitors the dark web for your leaked information, alerts you instantly when criminals try using it. $5 million in insurance if they strike. Expert support 24/7. Just like you need to protect your freedom from Agenda 2030, you need to protect your identity from cyber predators. And guess what? For $4.88 monthly, you can get your digital shield at virtualshield.com/nextnews before it's too late. It's linked down below. Now, the admissions overall, they're staggering. World Economic Forum, Sandra Dixon DeClave openly states their transition will be disruptive. It'll create shocks, will completely shake up food systems and energy grids. They're not predicting chaos, okay? They're planning it. Meanwhile, Soros money flows through AWeb, USAID, election systems, color revolutions. General Flynn exposing the network, NGOs, dark money, intelligence cutoffs, all pushing the same goal. Globalizing elections, standardizing control. The UN redefines their sustainable development goals as population control. GMO food, total surveillance, geoengineering, every warning becoming a reality, every prediction getting ever closer to the truth. Here we have this, 24 hours ago, World Economic Forum, confirming the path to forced traceability of online presence to digital ID. There can be no doubt that Australia's government is not sovereign. Australia is now controlled by the UN World Economic Forum Agenda 2030. AI will monitor every single user.
Anonymity to anonymity on social media. In our countries, no one can walk the streets with a mask on their face or drive a car without a license plate. No one can send packages without showing an ID or buy a hunting weapon without giving their name. And yet, we are allowing people to roam freely on social networks without linking their profiles to a real identity. This paving the way for misinformation, hate speech, and cyber harassment, because it is facilitating the use of bots and it is allowing people to act without being held accountable for their actions. Such an anomaly cannot continue. In a democracy, citizens have the right to privacy, not to anonymity or impunity, because with those two, social coexistence would be impossible. That is why I believe we must push forward the principle of pseudonymity as the functioning element of social media and force all these platforms to link every user account to an European digital identity wallet. This way, citizens could use nicknames if they want, but in the case of a crime, public authorities would be able to connect those nicknames to real people and hold them responsible. Because accountability is not an obstacle to freedom of speech. It is an essential complement to it, to anonymity.
A compliment to freedom of speech, he says. November 5th, Citizen Go post, "You will own nothing and be happy." That's what the WEF said years ago. And that's exactly what the UN Agenda 2030 is designed to deliver. Control disguised as progress. Wake up before it's too late. Here's a video from the World Economic Forum. 8 predictions for the world in 2030. Let's see. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Whatever you want, you'll rent. It'll be delivered by drone. This has got to be AI. The U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower. A handful of countries will dominate. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. This can't be real. We won't transplant organs, we'll print new ones instead. You'll eat much less meat. An occasional treat, not a staple for the good of the environment for our health. 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees. Polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide. There will be a global price on carbon. This will help make fossil fuels history. You could be preparing to go to Mars. Scientists will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space. The start of a journey to find alien life. Western values have been tested to the breaking point. This can't be real. Checks and balances underpin our democracies must not be forgotten. Is this a real video? I mean, anyway, this sounds like something satirical. You got to be kidding me. I mean, would they really? I guess. I mean, they're so brazen. This could totally be legit. I mean, there's a disclaimer at the bottom. It says, "This is." Let's see here, and it comes up in a second. Based on the input of, I just lost it. Based on the input of members of the World Economic Forum's Global Future Council. This is real. I mean, somebody making a fake video like this, I don't think they would go to lengths to put like such a disclaimer there. That's terrifying. Citizen Go, who are they? Global platform defending life, family, and freedom, active in 50 countries, 12 languages. Join our campaigns and make your voice heard. Yeah, I don't think they'd be posting some fake stuff, man. The entire UN 2030 agenda rests on one cornerstone, your voluntary adoption of digital ID. As Whitney Webb, Camus writes, as Whitney Webb powerfully argues, they're investing billions to sell you on its convenience. They'll pitch it as the solution to illegal migration, voter fraud, and cybercrime.
Without it, the programmable surveillable money won't work. A lot of their designs for what they want to do in the online virtual world will not work. And so much of it will not work if we do not comply with digital ID, and they're trying to force it on us as a voluntary thing. Sort of in the same way that vaccine passports were voluntary. Which is why I encourage people, if you want to change the direction the world is going, you need to figure out how you are going to set up your life so you don't have to comply with digital ID the same way, maybe if you were forced to comply with vaccine mandates and vaccine passports, how will you get around those type of restrictions when they try and impose, digital ID on people for various reasons? As I said earlier, before it was about, the vaccine and all of that. Now in the U.S., conservatives mainly are being pitched as this is a solution to illegal migration. This is a solution to voter fraud and all of this stuff. There's efforts to frame biometric digital ID as essential to solving cybercrime and hacking and cyberbullying and any other normal of essentially any ill of society. They're just going to say digital ID is going to be the solution to that. And their sales pitches. But ultimately, if we, the digital ID is essential to the whole idea of the social credit score and any of these other, Orwellian designs that, at least enough people I hope know by now, is part and parcel of this agenda. And I think, again, it comes up to people having to make a choice. And the way they do this is through, they try and get us to comply with this is through convenience. It's convenience to opt in. It's convenient to have a digital ID. It's convenient to have, money on your phone and have your whole life be based on your smartphone and all of this. It's convenient to vote once every 4 years for one of the two lesser evils in all of this. But really, it's the convenience that they're using to enslave us. And it's inconvenient to find ways to opt out of these systems and change your life so that you're more resilient and your life is actually sustainable for you and your family and your community. It's perhaps inconvenient to get off of the couch and off of the chair and go meet your neighbors physically and stop being on the online world so much and making real human connections and real human solutions to the problems we're facing. Because
she's on point right there. This guy, though, the UN chief, 72 hours ago, Jim Ferguson posting, UN chief demanding censorship crackdown. Antonio Guterres is called for tighter control of social media, claiming false narratives threaten the UN's Agenda 2030 goals and global stability. False narratives. What, because we disagree with you? Because we point out what it is? Global totalitarian control? He condemned what he called a tsunami of conspiracy theories and demanded action against platforms that allow them to spread. Translation, the UN wants the power to decide what's true and silence whatever challenges its agenda. When unelected bureaucrats start policing speech in the name of safety, it's not protection. It's digital authoritarianism in disguise. Listen.
The spread of hatred and lies online is causing grave harm to our world. Misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech are fueling prejudice and violence, exacerbating divisions and conflicts, demonizing minorities, and compromising the integrity of elections. Threats to information integrity are not new, but they are proliferating and expanding with unprecedented speed on digital platforms and supercharged by AI technologies. Science, facts, human rights, public health, climate action are under attack. And when information integrity is targeted, so is democracy, which depends on a shared, fact-based perception of reality. False narratives, distortions, and lies breed cynicism, disbelief, and disengagement. They undermine social cohesion, putting the Sustainable Development Goals further out of reach. Opaque algorithms push people into information bubbles and reinforce prejudices, including racism, misogyny, and discrimination of all kinds. Women, refugees, migrants, and minorities are common targets. Lives are at stake when lies are spread about vaccines and other medical issues. The United Nations' own operations and missions are compromised as our staff deal with a tsunami of falsehoods and absurd conspiracy theories. We demand action. First, to the big tech companies, take responsibility.
Wow.
Acknowledge the damage your products are inflicting on people and communities, and you have the power to mitigate harm to people and societies around the world. You have the power to change business models that profit from disinformation and hate. The climate crisis is a cause of particular concern. Coordinated disinformation campaigns are seeking to undermine climate action. The spread of hatred.
That's from the UN, guys. Oh, but he must have forgot that Bill Gates just turned on the whole climate scam. Uh-huh. Canada, the test site for a global control grid. Jim Ferguson posting this. Who is Jim Ferguson? Apparently he follows me. Nice. Pushing back on globalist control, speech, borders, sovereignty, founder, Freedom Train International, International Ambassador, Advance UK. Following the Next News Network. Right on, man. Well, you're doing a hell of a job. He writes, Canada, the test site for a global control grid. The 3-minute trailer everybody needs to see. The truth about the UN Agenda 2030 is no longer hidden. Canada is the proving ground, he writes. This is not a theory. It's the blueprint for global technocracy in motion. Quote, the lust to control other human beings is as old as time. From the collapse of liberal democracy to the rise of centralized rule by unelected officials, the agenda is simple. Control every resource, control every citizen, control every choice. Their plan, replace money with programmable digital credits. Transform energy and dictate how you use it. Seize farmland and replace real food with pharma food. Re-engineer economies through net zero and sustainability. Their justification? The climate crisis. But the film exposes how data manipulation and fear are being used to manufacture consent for a global control system. Experts warn once the digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity. At the center of it all, Mark Carney, a man who preaches global governance, controls financial levers, and waits for his majority government to finish the job. They call it sustainability, but it's really submission, economic, agricultural, digital, and human. And Canada is the model. The question is, will the rest of the world wake up before the model goes global? So this is the video, Jim Ferguson, a 3-minute trailer that everybody needs to see. Let's watch.
Potentially. The lust to control other human beings is a story as old as time. There's a very strong drift in the direction of globalization, of the ultimate centralization of control in the hands of unelected officials at supranational organizations.
They want all of the resources of the world in their pocket.
The bigger picture is that an attempt is underway now to collapse liberal democracy and replace it with global technocracy.
This is a coup. They're saying we can control with rules. We don't need currency anymore.
It's like an inverted prison. You are supposedly free to roam about, but everything you want to access is behind lock and key.
The potential for social control is gigantic and potentially irreversible.
They plan to commandeer land, reduce farming, and radically change the food we eat, transform the supply of electricity, and then dictate how we use it, and replace currency with a system of credits. All three strategies are built on the premise of a climate crisis caused by carbon dioxide.
I do not think there's a climate crisis, and I base that on all the evidence and the climate data sets that we build to answer questions just like that. The government is very clear that they want a catastrophic story.
There is no single science paper that proves conclusively that humans control all or most of the global climate.
Europe's mad dash towards net zero is effectively economic suicide. Politicians are purposely impoverishing ordinary people, purposely deindustrializing Europe.
It's just tremendous amount of damage in the name of saving the planet. It does make you ask, what is it we're actually saving if we're paving it over?
I think what we're dealing with here is actually a global war on agriculture.
When you look at how many farms are selling up, we're walking into food shortages.
If I can switch everybody from real food to pharma food, then 100% of the agriculture industry can go through my publicly traded stocks, and I have complete control.
This is the biggest public relations scam in the history of the world. But it's far more than that. It's a blueprint. It is the action plan.
All life on Earth is going to be radically changed.
Everything will be monitored. The environmental consequences of every human action.
The general population cannot fathom the psychopathy of the vision that they're facing.
Once the digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity.
The agenda. That's what's coming. Here's Sandrine Dixon DeCleve, top World Economic Forum expert and Club of Rome co-president, reveals the truth behind their agenda. Admits the plan will be disruptive, create shocks. A so-called giant leap is what they're calling it, to enforce the UN Agenda 2030 requires overhauling our entire food system, scrambling our reliable energy grids, forcing transition to clean power. Her chilling admission, we're talking about a complete shakeup. It will create shocks. This is the globalist blueprint for total control. They're engineering disruptive chaos to reshape our world. Listen.
Poverty ends. The second scenario is the giant leap. We wanted to identify a small set of actions, a minimum viable product, to reach as many sustainable development goals in Europe's vision of a social and green region. We wanted to take a systems approach to explore if we can achieve an acceptable level of well-being for the global majority on a finite planet. We conclude that nothing less than the following 5 extraordinary turnarounds are needed to have well-being for all while respecting planetary boundaries. Ending poverty, addressing gross inequality, achieving full gender equity, transforming the food system and the way we eat, transitioning to clean energy and efficient energy. We argue that these 5 extraordinary turnarounds and the set of economic reforms that will drive them form the basis of a well-being economy. It is not a blueprint, but more of a guide for systemic transformation. In this scenario, poverty ends a generation earlier than too little too late. We see gender empowerment in 1 generation, not 10. We see a switch to healthier plant-based diets. There is still meat consumption, but at sustainable levels. And we have carbon dioxide emissions every decade to reach net zero by 2050. The economic model everywhere is circular, regenerative, and efficient. Material consumption of unsustainable resources is reined in, fossil energy phased out, and we see a significant redistribution of wealth. In this scenario, we introduce a universal basic dividend operating like a universal basic income, with dividends coming to all people, sharing the wealth of the global commons and public goods. Who's taking the wealth now? It is not properly redistributed. This is not utopic. This is what is fair and just and what a society in transformation is all about. Why do we think this is important? We know the giant leap will be disruptive. We're talking about a complete shakeup. This is everything, everywhere, all at once. It will create shocks. But if it is to succeed, then we must bring the majority of people along the journey. The second scenario is the giant leap. We wanted to identify a small set of actions, a
They
minimum
are
viable.
saying it out loud with no shame, projecting their agenda on the global stage. The UN doesn't want to save the planet, it wants to run it. Agenda 2030 equals global rules and local obedience. Agenda 2030 incoming. Push back while you can. One world government, end of nations. One world army, one world police force, end of the family unit, one world central bank, one world cashless society, end of all private property, world depopulation, fertility control, end of home and car ownership, mandatory multiple vaccines yearly, universal austerity income, social media, digital ID, microchip for health, shopping, and travel, implementation of Chinese social credit system, government-raised children, all businesses run by the state, end of non-essential air travel, humans concentrated 15-minute zones, end of private farms and vegetable gardens, end of animal ownership, ban on all natural medicine, AI courts, and end of individual rights, limited access to wild spaces, end of fossil fuels, and modern conveniences. And of course, you'll be happy, won't you? You'll be happy. Zohran Mamdani there, the new mayor-elect of New York City with Alex Soros. Yeah. It's already happening. It's happening right under our noses. People of New York just voted for it. Alex Soros with Obama. George Soros Open Society Foundation has donated approximately $37 million to the Working Families Party, among others, which supported and mobilized Zohran Mamdani's campaign for the New York City mayor race. George Soros, dark money operations connected to taxpayer dollars, USAID, AWeb, election fraud, color revolutions, the plan to globalize the world. General Flynn breaks open the Soros, Russiagate, USAID, and corrupt NGO connection and how they're attempting to take it.
Soros, who's wandering around the world, we were able to prove how Soros, through this structured organization, spent $2.5 billion on our 2020 election. Soros is trying to globalize the world. Alex Soros, who's wandering around the world, paying people off to be globalists, right? All of this matters. What they're trying to do in Europe is they're trying to bog President Trump down. They are absolutely trying to tie him down. Again, they used the yoke of Russiagate in his first administration.
Exactly.
They're going to use the yoke of the Ukrainian war in this administration.
Oftentimes I bring up George Soros and what he's done around the world. And yesterday, Donald Trump finally made it clear that he's very aware of George Soros and how he's played into not just what is going on in this country, but the world for the last several decades.
Ukraine is a money laundering operation for, frankly, the Central Intelligence Agency and elements of the government. It is a weapons trafficking. It is human trafficking. It is a drug smuggling arena. And I mean big time, because keep in mind, we've 2014 until we left Afghanistan, Afghanistan was the single largest producer of heroin in the world. Right. George Soros, we know for a fact that in his structure, Arabella Advisors, right? Arabella Advisors, which again, you're like the expert on it. But Arabella Advisors created a structure of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and for-profit organizations, and they built it so seamless. And they used organizations like USAID. They use departments like the Department of State underneath the Obama administration, and clearly underneath the Biden administration.
The story we have gotten about Ukraine has been basically a fabrication of what has gone on over the last several years since the fall of the U.S.
So they call it sustainability. It's actually submission. Economic submission through programmable money. Agricultural submission through farmland seizure. Digital submission through mandatory ID. Human submission through social credit. As one warned, once digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity. Canada's the test lab. Australia's implementing. Europe's next. America's the final target. This is the system they've been building since 1992. And now they're flipping the switch. We're watching the birth of global technocracy in real time. When unelected UN bureaucrats demand censorship power, when Mark Carney waits for his chance to finish transforming Canada, when every prediction about Agenda 21 comes true through Agenda 2030, we are past the point of theory. It's operational. They're doing it right now in your face. And they're so confident, they're admitting it publicly. Climate crisis is the excuse. Control is the goal. Your freedom is the target. The infrastructure is being built while we argue about whether it's real. By the time enough people wake up, the digital walls will already be complete. So my question, will you accept digital ID when they make it mandatory for banking? Yes or no? Answer below. And get your next news gear while you still can, because under their system, supporting alternative media might lower your social credit score. So, this is the fight of our lifetime. Oh, man. Yeah, that's where we're at, folks. That's where we're at right now. Todd, hell of a job compiling all that. Great selections today, I have to say. Okay, let's see here. Alice Cersei dropping $9.99. Thank you, Alice. And Melanie Martin, tariff checks by Christmas? Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Oh, man. Can you imagine getting a... Do you remember, I think Trump did that once before. There was I think there were the COVID checks or something like that. I forgot. But I remember opening up my mailbox and seeing something from the Treasury Department or the IRS. I think the IRS is who sent it out. And then I opened it up and it was a check. And it had Trump's signature on it. Oh, I wish I still had it. Or at least wish I knew where it was. But yeah, maybe we'll see those checks by Christmas. Where are we at on Super Chats? We're at $54.97. We're $45 away from our target. And we're going to go into our next topic right now. The robot wars. Yes, it's happening right now. And it's wild. It is absolutely wild what's happening. I have this clip here. Just want to get it queued up. I thought they were stacked. I guess they're not. Okay, here is the one. And then here's the big one. That's the one. Okay. All right. Tariff checks by Christmas. Every superpower on Earth has one goal: beat Elon Musk in the robot race. And every single one is failing spectacularly. Russia's robot, did you see this? Literally face planted on stage. China's so desperate, they're cutting robots open to prove they're real. Japan's demos look like museum pieces, and the Taliban is building junkyard robots. It's a global race to catch Tesla's Optimus. And what we're witnessing is the most humiliating tech competition in history. They're not just losing, they're embarrassing themselves. Now, this race, of course, determines who owns the future. The nation that masters humanoid robots first controls manufacturing, logistics, defense, everything. Tesla's Optimus is already working factory floors, targeting $20,000 production costs. That's game-changing economics. Every other country sees this and knows, fall behind, stay behind forever. So they're throwing everything at it. Russia unveils ADOL. It collapses immediately. China stages elaborate demos trying to look competitive. Japan showing prototypes. Even allies struggling. Other American companies can't match Musk's pace. Now, this is not just corporate competition. It's about whether America maintains total technological dominance or watches others catch up. Right now, they're not catching up. They're falling further behind with each failed demo. While global powers fail at building basic robots, cyber criminals succeed at stealing identities. That massive Gmail hack exposed 183 million passwords, giving thieves everything needed to become you online. They're draining accounts, destroying credit, ruining lives with stolen data. Virtual Shield stops them cold. Dark web monitoring catching your leaked info. Instant alerts when criminals try to use it. 5 million insurance protection. Expert recovery support. And just like America dominates the robot race, Virtual Shield dominates identity protection. $4.88 a month shields your entire family. So get protected at virtualshield.com/nextnews before hackers strike. Now, friends, the desperation's palpable. China's Xpeng literally had someone cut open their robot's leg on stage just to prove it wasn't a human in a suit. That's how far behind they are. They're not demonstrating capability. They're defending against fraud accusations. Russia? Here, look at this. This is the Russian robot. Okay. They played Rocky music for their big reveal. Here it is. And then watched Adol crash. Boom. Out. China's Kung Fu robot could only pose, while Russia's could win falling. Win by falling on opponents. Meanwhile, Unitree claims breakthroughs but can't match Tesla's real-world deployment. Every announcement, every demo, every claim measured against one standard, catching Elon Musk. So this is the video that went viral. I would play it with the music because it's even more dramatic. But this is the rollout. Everyone was talking about it when it hit. Boom, and then it hit the floor. I mean, the cameras were up, everyone watching it, and this poor robot's face, he's like, doesn't know what to do. And then these guys show up with this blanket, this curtain. This is the full shot, the full widescreen shot of it. Okay, so here it is. I'm gonna back it up for you. I'll play it full screen. Okay, so like there it goes down. So embarrassing. This is going to become a meme. I mean, immediately everyone's like, oh, they made a Biden robot. And then these guys show up with the curtain. And then they can't even put the curtain up right. Oh, man. Yeah. Total epic fail. This is going to become a historic meme. I haven't yet seen anyone like make videos of this, like putting Biden's face on that. I'm sure they exist, but maybe I've got to do that. Tesla's Optimus robot, though, outperforming their fellow robot, Elon, in dancing. Look at the movements on this thing. No, I can't play the music on this, but look at the robot. It's straight up moving and dancing. And you can see Elon in the background. That's just wild, man. I mean, compare that to the Russian rollout. Optimus is making waves. Now, I cover this stuff because I think these, I've always wanted to have my own C-3PO. But maybe that's going to happen. Maybe I'll have my own C-3PO someday. Here's the moment. This is Xpeng's next-gen Iron Robot effectively crossed the uncanny valley, leading many to believe it was a human in a suit. Look at the movements on this. In a follow-up event to prove it was not a robot, they had the leg skin cut open in front of a live audience. And then the robot walks off stage.
A force. Iron comes to prove it is itself, but I believe the future will prove that this self-verification of the robot will promote the healthier and more vigorous development of the entire Chinese robot industry.
I mean, that thing is moving like a human. It's a little stiff. I guess people were making accusations that this was a human in a suit, so they got desperate and they decided to cut open the leg of the robot. And the text on the screen, they explain that it's very delicate to cut this thing open. What's funny is that our producer Todd was was remarking about this video, he's like, well, it could just be a human with a, prosthetic leg. But no, it's an actual robot. And let's see if we can get the shot. There's a shot of it leaving with its underskeleton completely exposed. Still walking. Just wild, creepy stuff. Here's a robot performing a perfect backflip. Are you kidding me? That's just nuts. Look at this. Wow. That's crazy. Look at this. This must be like a robot convention. There's robots walking around everywhere. Here's China's robot, the Kung Fu Master. Edie writes, of course, that's all it can do. Pose, look impressive. Adol could probably kick its ass in actual combat and knock it right down, or at least fall on it and knock it right down. Still impressive, though. The Unitary Robotics R1 humanoid robot, released 2025, has been named one of the best innovations of 2025 by Time Magazine, making a new milestone in development of humanoid robots. At the same time, Time has selected Unitary Robotics founder Wang Zing as one of the 100 most influential people in AI. Poor Adol. Now, I don't know if this is real. This viral vibes. I guess Whistling Diesel. Okay, so this is probably real. This is a YouTuber. Stress test on an $80,000 humanoid robot reveal the limits of AI today.
I need you to cook me a... Stop! What are you doing? That's my mirror. What are you doing? Stop! Stop! One of your units just ran into my mirror and is causing damage. I'm a little worried. That's not gonna work. Oh my god. I need you to cook me a meal. I need protein. It needs to be healthy. It's a gas stove. Be careful. No. That's a weight. That's a weight. There's weight here. Stop. Settle down. So if you can cook me the meal, I'm gonna go on in here and play Fortnite. Okay? Yeah. What the? Hey! All I do is clean up after you. Shut it off! Somebody shut it off!
I don't know how much of that was staged.
Stop. What are you doing?
But, I mean, I can see those nightmares happening in people's houses. All right, let's go back to the X-Bang humanoid robot.
Compliant, but also by 300%.
This is apparently the robot without its outer skin.
Making it not only compliant, but also trustworthy. After exploring the powerful Turing AI chip, we now proceed to today's final destination, the X-Bang flying car.
This one looks a little stiffer than the last one. Rise of the Machines, right? The most human-like humanoid robot in history, designed by Chinese company Xpeng. Right clothes and muscle on hair. You think about how many servos and how much it takes to design those things and get them to work the way they're doing. This is not CGI. This is the Tesla Optimus humanoid robot in real time. That's on your screen right there. Tesla's Optimus robot, August 5th, now taking out trash and stirring pots just from watching humans. Elon says Optimus is training off human videos, not code. The result, it's cleaning tables, changing trash bags, opening cabinets, and even stirring dinner. Fully autonomous, no joystick, no coding, just vibes and machine learning. Soon it'll be better at chores than your roommate. There it is. The robot is taking out the trash. And the robot won't talk back to you either. If you ask it to do it. Pick up the brush. Clean off the table. This is remarkable. This is truly a robotic arms race that's happening globally. Everyone is rushing to market with their own robot. The question is, who will rise to the top? I think with Elon, just his branding and his tenacity, his vision, his execution, I think he will be the one that will rise to the top here. I don't know, but that Chinese robot, it looks pretty good, but it all comes down to function. Here's the big update they just released for the Optimus robot. It was helpful for gathering data. It can now explore new places by itself, find and go to a charging station using a rear camera to plug itself in. It can lift heavier things, 25 pounds. It has a better tray. Multiple robots can now share and use a combined map of their surroundings. Optimus can walk upstairs. It can interact with people, handing over items when asked using AI. Tesla says that all these new abilities come from one neural network running in real time on the robot's computer. So like I said, it all comes down to the ability and function. If all your robot can do is fall over, it's good for nothing. If all it can do is, stand around and do a guided tour of a shop, then it's good for nothing. Robots would never take my job. Wow, look at that. Robots doing massages. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Here's another one. In balloon handling experiments, baseline methods failed to manipulate the object safely. Gentle humanoid succeeded. That's the name of this robot. Demonstrating precise and compliant control where others lost stability or caused damage. Balloon test. I love how they always have these things chained up to something. Maybe you just haven't figured it out yet. Speaking of AI, humans can no longer tell AI music from the real thing. If you watch the opening of our show, the raw feed, that is completely AI. With my input, of course. The loading of the dishwasher struggle is real, or especially for the $20,000 1X Neo humanoid robot. Here's a robot that actually looks like it can perform some functions.
You got this, Neo. You got it.
Like drunk. It's trying. You almost got it. You almost got it. Almost. A little lower. Oh.
And that took 5 minutes.
5 minutes to load 2 cups for $20,000. I don't know. What do you guys think? Here's a Taliban soldier built a robot used as a computer to target enemies on the battlefield. Yeah, Taliban's not going to be outdone here, folks. They built it on a little mini robotic Humvee. How cute. Humanoid robot spotted walking through downtown Los Angeles. Is this real?
Oh my God, no.
They put clothes on. They're holding his hand? Gotta hold hands when you cross the street. Yeah. Dude, that's creepy. It's got gym shoes on.
Oh my gosh, no.
That's happening right now in Los Angeles, folks. That's going to become more commonplace. Once Optimus hits the market legitimately, Here's the world's first humanoid robot that changes its own battery and never dies. Look at that. Changing its own batteries. That's crazy. Changing its own batteries, folks. Oh, my batteries are low. Gonna go load them up. Here's the UB Tech robot showing off. Dude, that's creepy. That is like, this is like Terminator. This is like Terminator stuff here, folks. It's like the T-800, but not as evil looking. Oh, that's the one that can change its own battery. Holy cow. An entire army of them. It's creepy, but man, I would love to have one in the house. I don't know what it would do though. Like, I'm not sure, like, these things don't seem to have the best function at the moment. Optimus pilot production line is currently running in our Fremont factory, significantly larger 3-gen production line coming 2026. Testing factories and office space for real-time use case. Goal is 20,000 COGS per robot at scale. That's the Tesla robot Optimus. They're getting ready, folks. They're gearing up to hit the market big. So we're going to wait and see how this all unfolds, but here's what panic looks like. Tesla announcing pilot production in Fremont, Generation 3, coming in 2026. $20,000 target price. Every competitor scrambling. Elon Musk setting the baseline. He said it's $20,000. Other markets, they said $20,000. China racing robots with cameras. Russian bots need a medical team. Taliban cobbling together battlefield scrap. Expensive American alternatives. Can't really load dishwashers. They're not competing, friends. They're failing because while they stage demonstrations, Musk deploys reality. Optimus works. Optimus scales. Optimus wins. The race to beat Elon Musk? I think it's already over. So this is what technological supremacy looks like. Not choreographed demos or flashy reveals, but quiet domination through actual deployment. Every face-planted robot, every desperate demonstration, every failed attempt to match Tesla proves a fundamental truth. You can't fake innovation. The world watched SpaceX embarrass every single space agency on the planet. Now they're watching Tesla do the same with robotics. Russia, China, Japan, all united in one goal. Catch Elon Musk. All united in one result. Spectacular failure. And the gap keeps growing. So when Tesla hits $20,000 units at scale, it's not just game over for competitors, it's the beginning of American manufacturing dominance for the next century. So here's my question. Is watching these countries fail trying to copy Elon proof that innovation can't be stolen? Yes or no? Drop your answer below, and you can support American excellence with some Next News gear from our shop, because when the world's superpowers are desperately chasing one American entrepreneur, you know who's really winning. All right, who's in here? Okay, no more super chats to speak of. $54.97. What do you guys think? Waiting on a Tesla cell phone. Is that actually going to happen? Humans will not be able to work. My ghetto bot cost me $350. That cans transform into a bird. N3 is awesome. Thank you. We all need ghetto bot to run to the store for munchies. Innovation can be stolen. It's not always successful. A paintball gun is some marbles. Who's going to pay for your house if it accidentally burns it down while you're at work? Oof. 3 models of the iPhone? It's real? Legitimately? I heard about it, but I've never seen any like mass advertisements or even Elon talking about it. The AOC robot. Oh, wow. $167? Well, Patriots, what a show, what a day, what a time to be alive and fighting for truth. We started with John Fetterman's explosive confession, admitting his own party cheered for his next stroke. That Democrats destroyed Obamacare. That Bernie Sanders voted against feeding the hungry and paying our troops. The 43-day shutdown, total Democrat failure. Trump signed it away, exposing their entire extortion scheme, and he got America back to work while they got nothing but humiliation. Then we dove into Operation Dirtbag. Yes, that's what they really called it. 150 sexual predators swept up in Florida alone. Democrat politicians literally assaulting federal agents. Their staffers impersonating attorneys to spring criminals. But here is the victory. Trump's team shut down China's entire fentanyl pipeline. Kash Patel got it done. Tens of thousands of Americans' lives saved while Democrats defend predators. And the corruption expose? That was breathtaking. $7.7 million taxpayer dollars for Egyptian safaris, Vegas parties while Chicago kids can't read. Gavin Newsom's chief of staff indicted for a criminal empire of shell companies, fake jobs, and luxury shopping sprees. $15,000 handbags, $170,000 birthday bashes, all while preaching about inequality. The one-party state revealed as organized crime. And then the big one, Agenda 2030 going operational. UN demanding censorship powers, Australia forcing digital ID, Canada testing programmable money, the World Economic Forum admitting that they're engineering deliberate shocks to society. What sounded crazy 5 years ago is now official policy. And they're not hiding it anymore because they think it's just too late to stop them. And finally, the robot wars. Every nation on Earth desperately trying to catch Elon Musk and failing spectacularly. Russia's robot face-planting on stage. China's cutting them open to prove they're real. The Taliban building battlefield bots from scraps. All while Tesla's Optimus works actual factory floors at a fraction of the cost. Future of labor, manufacturing, American dominance secured by one man they cannot catch. So to everybody who sent in super chats and rumble rants, you guys make the show possible. Your support keeps independent media alive when they want us silenced. So keep telling your friends about the raw feed. Share these truth bombs. Hit Armored Shop. And wear your defiance proudly, because here is what today proved. Their systems are collapsing. Their lies are exposed. Their plans are failing. From Fetterman's betrayal to Operation Dirtbag's victories, from corruption indictments to Agenda 2030's exposure, from robot faceplants to American excellence. We're not just winning. We're watching them self-destruct in real time. So thank you for watching the Raw feed tonight. Keep your eyes open. Keep your minds sharp and your spirits high. I'll see you all in the next show. This is Gary Franchi, signing off.